Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Neil. Neil, we have a Pirates loss today. They didn't get the sweep, unfortunately, but they lose 10-3 to the Seattle Mariners. What's up? I think you're on mute. We've lost. There he is.
Hello.
How's it going, Neil? I think we lost you again. There's no Neil. Neil, what's going on? You're looking like the Pirates offense out here.
How's it going? Is my audio working now?
It is now.
Okay. Yeah. My technical difficulties keep going. But I'm good. It was not a bad Sunday afternoon, besides the fact that the Pirates got destroyed.
Didn't look pretty. It didn't look pretty. Jake Woodford has the start. Honestly, we've given him like his praise. Like, he has not looked that bad being a Pittsburgh Pirate. We talk about the Astros series and that game he played. He pitched, I should say, and like the offense kind of failed him. This isn't to absolve him today. He didn't pitch well, but the defense also didn't do him any favors once again. Jared Trillo did not have a good, clean game.
Nope.
It is what it is. And obviously, again, like, he didn't pitch well enough to win. But yeah, Jake Woodford didn't do it today.
It's hard to get upset about Jake Woodford not pitching well. You know, I can get upset about a lot of things on this team, but we already have like 2 good starts from Jake Woodford, who is probably more than you could ever hope to want from Jake Woodford. So like, it's hard to get mad. Like, in the context of everything, 2 of 3 from the Mariners is good. When you isolate it, you kind of needed a sweep here if you're hoping to get back on track. You know,
that's not happening. But yes, your point is correct.
That's why I'm not upset today. You know, like, it's a Jake Woodford start.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yep, that's correct. And, you know, as we're continuing here, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football, from the preseason, NFL, college kicking off. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. Think you know your stuff? Get in on a game of winner take all, $300,000 NFL Survivor pool for the upcoming season. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today. Use the promo code BELIEVE, that is BLEAV, for the game. To get on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. So, yeah, again, I mean, Jake Woodford isn't the marquee pitcher. Jake Woodford's not the reason the Pirates have had a good starting pitching rotation for most of the season. He's here just because of need at this point in time. And again, he's actually done a decent job filling in. But today, like, he didn't really have it. And then the sweeper has looked good in his comments. Today, the sweeper is looking really nasty still. But that was about it.
He was really a fan of leaving fastballs right down the middle.
Yeah.
And even when you leave fastballs on the middle to guys like Rojas, he's still going to hit it out. So, you know, I think he's done a pretty good job of just kind of slotting into that Martin Perez category of like, we'll sometimes give you like a decent start, but he'll also have days like this. You know, it's again, Jake Woodford has been pretty darn good, all things considered. So sometimes it happens, even if it's against a bad Mariners team.
Right. Yeah. So he goes 4 innings, gives up 9 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks, but obviously the 5 earned runs, 2 homers, those 2 homers, much like you said. I mean, you're just leaving it over the middle. The Mariners offense, I mean, it's not a good offense.
No.
Ironically enough, and it's what Jim and Tyler were talking about last night on the post-game show, where this kind of mirrors the Pittsburgh Pirates team in a sense. But I mean, they have guys that can hit the long ball. And that's what happened today. 2 home runs.
The Cal Raleigh home run was honestly just, I think that was impressive from Raleigh more than like a mistake on Woodford's part. Like, I just think that was a good piece of hitting from a good power hitter. Like, maybe I'm just feeling kind because, the anger has left my body about this team. But like, I don't know. Like, I think that was, I don't even think I want to blame Woodford for that one.
That's fair. I didn't watch that one too closely. Earlier in the game, I wasn't too as attentive, I should say, pitch by pitch. But yeah, I mean that's fair. And again, I mean he had 4 hits in the first. Was it 4? No, 3 hits off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, like it wasn't going well. And again, like there was a lot of bloops in there. Jared Triolo not being able to throw a baseball today for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where the arm strength went. I don't know where the accuracy went. Today was beat up on Jared Triolo day, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens. Like the one thing that's, the saving grace for Jared Triolo is like he has really, really good defense. He can play everywhere. So even though the bat has been super subpar, and also this isn't to also absolve him and say this is why he should be on a major league roster. He still should, but at least he has something going for him where he has defense, he has the flexibility.
Yeah.
But ironically enough, he was at his home position today, third base, where he's won the Gold Gloves in the minor leagues, and he wasn't even doing that part today. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to solidify yourself, solidify is a strong word, but still, if you're going to remain on a major league roster and it's due basically for one reason, you got to have that reason going. And again, today just wasn't having it with him.
Yeah. It's hard to justify having him on the roster over Nick York at this point. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. He's been on the team all year, and he's been kind of like the guys who quietly just kind of, most people don't realize how bad Jared Triolo has been this year. And unless like they're concerned that they're not going to get York every day at bats on the major league team, I don't know why Jared Triolo is getting priority over him. At this point, I think you might as well just get York up and see what he can do. I don't know.
I'm 100% with you. And this is a whole nother lane we can go down. And I feel like we've definitely been teasing this lane for about a week now. But I mean, especially the way I've been performing. I mean, York is tearing it up. Billy Cook is tearing it up. Henry Davis has been tearing it up. And now, of course, Henry Davis tearing it up isn't anything new in the minor leagues. But like, regardless, you now have, is it 43 games, 44, something like around that, a month and a half basically worth of games remaining here. And you're out of this thing. You're completely out of it.
Yeah.
Is Triolo part of that future? Is Bay part of that future? Or Grandal's definitely not part of that future.
Yeah.
And, the way they're performing now, again, like York, I can give you the excuse of he's still young. He just got his first taste of like the triple A league this year. Now he's brand new to the Pirates AAA, team and stuff. And then you want to give him a look and really like kind of look into him. But like my thing is Billy Cook is 25 years old, going to be 26 next year.
Yeah.
He was a college bat. He has over 1,400 plate appearances in the minor leagues. There's no need for him to still be down there. I mean, this is like literally the definition of what else does he have to prove? And so get him up here. Why not have him get that extended look, get that first taste, get him finally into a major league roster, seeing major league pitching for the first time at the end of this year, so that when you're going into next year, maybe he's starting to beat that learning curve a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I'm not sure how high I really am on Billy Cook, just because 25-year-olds are just good at beating up on AAA pitching. Like, I don't know how real it is, but
then
man,
let me stop you.
But
let me stop you here.
Can I? Okay.
I was going to say, it might lead to it. You might not believe it. Do you right now believe he's probably better than G1 Bay?
That's where I was going. Yes.
You believe he's better than Jared Triolo?
I would rather see way more opportunities given to Billy Cooks of the world and given it to G1 Bay. G1 Bay is an atrocious baseball player. And yeah, so yeah, 100%. That's where I was going. Like, even if Billy Cook and Nick York are absolutely nothing, you've already wasted this season. This season, before the season's over, you're not coming back from it unless like a hand of God miracle comes down and blesses this team. Like, so yeah, let Billy Cook play. Give him 150 at bats before the end of the year, because G1 Bay is bad. And unlike Triolo, who I think can have a future on the team in like a Clint Barmas style role, like very limited defensive first style role. Get him up here over Bay. I'm tired of seeing him. I'm tired of seeing all this playing time he's getting. He's not good. We need to let it go.
I'm with you there. I'm with you. And like 2022, 2023, this is all fine. Like, this is all fine. Like, get him as many bats as you can. It's still a lot of developing. But 2024, and especially in 2025, there's no more time to give away to develop and see what they have. I mean, expectations have to change. Winning is what's most important. And my thing too about those two guys, and again, especially Cook, because of his age, also, you don't have to worry about Super 2. The guy's going to be 26 years old next year. Do you really need to worry about making sure it's the Jared Triolo argument more or less over again. You don't have to worry about locking him up. He's going to be here through his prime, and he's going to be gone when most people are leaving their prime. And that's assuming he's even good enough to be here the entire time. So, like, you don't have to worry about a Billy Cook and his service time manipulation, Super 2. If you get him up here right now, you can start him in April next year if you think he's part of that, that team or whatnot. But the other thing too is, like you said, if it's 150 plate appearances, 110, like whatever it is, like that's still a jump start to his major league development. He's now seeing major league pitching before this offseason, before next year. It's not going to be in April when he's having the struggles then. Like, this season's a lost year. Why not get those early rookie struggles out today? Get him into the offseason, seeing the major league starting pitching, and move forward.
I agree. Like, and it just sucks that this is a lost season. Like, in reality, like in what should have happened is that you don't bring up Billy Cook because you don't want to waste at bats to Billy Cook in a playoff push because you have no idea what he has. But even the Diamondbacks, who are high flying, they brought up a guy, Adrian Del Castillo. No one in this chat has probably ever heard of Adrian Del Castillo when he's hitting bombs. And he tied the game for the Diamondbacks in the 9th today. Like, I don't quite understand. He's hitting 321, 994 OPS. You might as well try to find an Adrian Del Castillo with this time you have left. And instead, we're giving at-bats to G1 Bay and Yasmani Grandal. And I don't understand the purpose here. Like, I don't know what we're doing.
Right. That's what we're like. There's another argument, but of course that time's gone. But it's like the answer is to two things. If you're looking to next year, you bring them up. If you're looking to compete this year, get back into the playoff push, call them up because maybe they provide that jump spark.
Yeah. And I legitimately don't know why Henry Davis is doing in AAA. Like, there is nothing for him to do more in AAA. He needs to learn how to hit MLB pitching. We're not going to win this year. Get him up here.
Yep. I hear you. And again, like, the reason we're talking about this too is, the obviously, again, we talk about Woodford and the pitching wasn't really there, but the offense once again just was really not there. George Kirby, good pitcher. Kudos to him as well.
Yeah.
But the Pirates tend to make good pitchers look like good pitchers and remind you that they are good pitchers. Not too often do they say, hey, that was a good pitcher, but you know what? We made him look silly. Zach Wheeler at the beginning of the year, and since then, I can't remember the last time that happened. So, so yeah, George Kirby, good pitcher, definitely looked it. only Ono Cruz had 2 hits, multiple hits on the day. We had 5 in total, 7 walks, so total of 7 base runners on the day. It just, again, it just wasn't happening, but that's why we're talking about this. Like, how can you expect that to happen when you look at this lineup? G1 Bay, 484 OPS, Trillo, 568, Taylor, 556, De La Cruz, 674, but he struggled mightily since becoming a Pittsburgh Pirate. Yeah. I mean, just with Kutch out, you look at the top of the lineup, Kiner Falefa, Brian Reynolds, Ono Cruz, and then Joey Bart. That's a solid 1 through 4.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of drops off.
And it was it's just not fun to watch 5 through 9 on this Pirates team. Like, it's not fun. Rowdy Tellez, like, he's not hitting the way that he was, like, when he was rebounding. He'll be lucky to finish with a 700 OPS. De La Cruz has been awful. Taylor at least has the defense excuse in center field. Like, there's some value there, but I mean, there's just so many wasted roster spots on this team. Like, when we see it every day. It's the same thing that we've been talking about since May. Nothing really has changed.
You're right. And the thing about Rowdy, he has cooled off. I mean, he's not performing at the level he was April, May.
No.
But he has cooled off. He certainly has cooled off. He's not like that guy anymore, which has been a bit problematic because, again, like we're talking about this lineup, he was providing some, much needed length for a good bit of time there, and that's kind of gone. And it's now 1 through 4, which, by the way, Joey Bart, another home run today. Joey Bart's been a big part of the good hitters. And again, like going back to Jim and Tyler, they talked a good bit last night, so I'm not going to go off on this tangent on him also. But like, once again, another home run today, a 2-run shot. I know I talked on NS9 Live saying how, I still want to see longevity. It's still only under 200 plate appearances for him, right? It's a hot part, right? Like, he looks really good, but what happens in 300, 400, 500 plate appearances? Does it drop off? And I don't know. I don't know if we're seeing that. I'm still going to hold back, and I still want to see more from him, but it's just like he keeps more or less supplanting himself as like, hey, listen, I'm here. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like Joey Bart signing. I think we were both in agreement. We weren't huge fans of it, Like, I don't think either. Wrong. Yeah, and I will happily say I was wrong. He's been fantastic, and I think like the hard contact and like the quality of contact means like it is somewhat real, and the change of scenery was really good for Bart. I'm a little worried that he's a little lefty reliant in terms of where he does his damage. I think that's like my main thing, but his home run was off Kirby today, right?
Yep.
I'm not making that up. Like, he hasn't been hitting badly against right-handed pitching. I just hope that we don't stake our hopes that a guy who's mostly a left-handed masher is going to be our cleanup guy next year, if that makes any sense. But I think the batted ball stuff and the approach he has to the plate, there is an actual roster spot for him next year, and I think there's some level of this is real. I don't think he's going to continue to be a 900 OPS hitter, but I do think this is somewhat real.
That's the best way of putting it, and I think that's the most reasonable way. In no means do I even want to entertain the idea that Joey Bart's going to be the cleanup hitter next year. But I do believe in Joey Bart that he's a major league, catcher. He's a major league talent for sure, where at one point the Giants said, we no longer believe in that, we're DFAing him. And I was under the impression too, with the Giants, in agreement that, this is probably not legit. And I feel like there's probably a better chance that Jason DeLay has a more productive season than Joey Bart. And it really came down to the fact that, again, I know Jason DeLay is really, really good behind the plate. And Joey Bart, he's not elite behind the plate. He's good enough, but again, with his bats, Jason DeLay at least makes some contact. He doesn't set the world on fire, but at least he's really good defensively and such. And Joey Bart, I don't see it anymore. And all Joey Bart did is come over and say, you know what, the defense is good enough still. Like, it's good enough. But there's offense. He found it again. He said, this is why I was this high of a draft pick and this much of of talents as coming up as a prospect. And he's showing it in Pittsburgh. And again, like, he must have just needed that change of scenery. But you are right. He is absolutely crushing lefties. He's absolutely crushing fastballs. I don't expect him to have like a 900 OPS next year. But again, like, I feel like I'm safe coming into this year, especially with the Endy injury. You weren't sure about the catcher position. Next year, I'm confident that there's at least a major league catcher in Joey Bart. And at the bare minimum, having Jason DeLay still as a backup, but you also have Henry, you have Endy coming back next year. I feel much better about the catcher position going into next season.
Yeah, I do too. And I wouldn't want to be the one having to play a roster musical chairs with the catchers in the offseason. Because if Davis is like actually a hitter, like if he's you have to get him into the lineup. Endy can play right field, he can play first base. I think Endy's best behind the plate. And so I don't know how you do this, but maybe if Kutch retires, like in like all three hit, like Davis can DH, Bart can catch, and like Davis can and Endy can be behind the plate, and then you just rotate. But it is a good problem to have. Like getting a good player at a potential surplus position is a good thing. So again, best move Ben Cherington has ever made in terms of adding to the major league roster.
Right. Yeah. Sadly, that's kind of true. But at any rate, what else do you really want to talk about today with this game, the offense, anything?
I thought Cruz looked good.
He did.
I think he hit the ball too hard that he didn't hit a home run, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like that was almost hit too hard. So, but I thought he looked good at the plate, got 2 hits off of a really good pitcher. But I mean, besides that, the offense is kind of dead.
It was. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, Ono did look good today. That one he hit away, just like the little bloop of the single he got, the second hit, there was the gap, but they're playing kind of like a little shift on him and hit it down the line, got his base. Good piece of hitting. And yeah, that double just, did it go any higher than 20 feet in the air?
I don't think so. No.
I mean, that might have had a home to center field wall time of like 0.9 seconds. That thing just screamed out there. Like you said, there's literally no loft on it, just right to the wall, gets a double. He did. He looked good at the plate.
Cruz is the only guy. Sorry, go ahead.
No, guys. No, just saying he's been looking much better at the plate.
Yeah. I mean, 733 OPS. He's slowly climbing up to 800. I think he gets there by the end of the year, which is crazy considering how awful he was in April. But he's the only guy I've ever seen hit the ball so well that it cheats him out of like better hits.
Right.
Not just like the 115-mile-an-hour singles to the wall. Like, he also just cheats himself out of some home runs. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, and you know what? Even like that last one, I mean, that was hit pretty well. Moore came in as a defensive replacement for Polanco at second, and he made a spectacular catch. And I mean, that happens. It's baseball. I'm not going to go crazy over it, but like, that was also, he almost had 3 hits today.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Probably is getting by, especially if Polanco is playing second. That gets by there, and he has his 3rd hit of the game. Half the Pirates hits on the day, but that was well played. So again, like how good he looked today, absolutely, and he has been. I mean, every month you look, I think in June he was about league average, but it's almost like every month it's getting better and better and better. In August, he's been absolutely on a tear.
Yeah, I mean, considering this is his first full season as a major league player, which is tragic for us. Like, since he debuted 3 years ago,
I know.
Like, it's cool to see. Like, he's not the superstar maybe that people wanted yet, but like, he's clearly growing into a good Major League Baseball player. He's gonna be over 3 F4 in his first major league season. I think he's pacing toward it. Like, I think that's pretty darn good for essentially a rookie shortstop with a repaired ankle.
100% accurate. And also one who doesn't do well defensively. Like, that's built in there. Like, for people to recognize and understand, yes, he has to get better defensively, but with all the mistakes he's made, that's all factored in there as well. And like, he is still a 3-WAR player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has a higher one, going which direction you want to here, which site you want to use or whatever. But if you're using Fangraphs, he has a higher WAR than Brian Reynolds.
I actually didn't know that. That's crazy.
So,
however, I will say that was the worst assigned error I think I've ever seen in my life.
you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. When they said they're giving Cruz the throwing error on that, I kind of took it as like, what?
Yeah, right.
Trust me, he deserves a lot of errors that he's caused this year.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that one, I was just kind of, how's that a throwing?
Like, it hit Bart exactly the way you want it to. Bart just dropped the ball. I have no idea what I hope they go back and fix it, but it's also why I will continue to defend Cruz as not being as bad of a defender as people think he is. Because that's what errors are. Like, errors are such like a weird subjective stat that like I think he's much better than what people give him credit for. Even if he's not like, he's only been like at best league average this year. I don't want to like say he's an amazing defender, but he's definitely better than 24 errors or whatever people think that means.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I know the people who don't believe it, we're not going to win over, and that's absolutely fine. Like, it is what it is. You want to believe what you believe, it's fine. But it's a lot of stuff that you can't see. Like, you can't, and that's why fielding judgment and trying to find out WAR and these numbers and such, it's kind of tricky because like, you can see fielding percentage.
Yeah.
You can see error, and that's a quantifiable thing. I made an error, boom. I didn't feel this, boom. But how many balls does he get to the others don't? That's where the range comes in, right? And that throwing arm, like that weapon, how many times does he make the out at first where guys like Jared Triolo today don't, right? Like, if Ono Cruz throws that's an out. Jared Triolo throws it, the guy's safe.
Yeah.
That doesn't go into fielding percentage. That doesn't go into errors. You know what I mean? But like, how many things does he do because of his skill set that others can't, that makes up for the other stuff? So like, when people say he's lost 3 or 4 games, you're not lying.
No,
those errors in Houston was absolutely costly. But how many things has he done that has helped save some games as well with the defense?
Yeah.
And those things are typically the stuff that you can't quantify or show in a number, and that's where it comes in, you nerds, and these fake stats.
I mean, I'll put it this way. Ellie De La Cruz is one of the best fielding shortstops in baseball this year. He's a better defender than Jordy Mercer was, and when Jordy Mercer retired, he was top 10 all-time in fielding percentage. But I would rather have Ellie there every day of the week because he gets the balls that Jordy Mercer could never dream of getting to. Even though I like Jordy, I liked Jordy Mercer, but fielding percentage is not the end all be all, and so I'll take Cruz. I like O'Neal Cruz. I'm pretty.
Those were our early day NS9 battles. Was the fielding percentage in Jordy Mercer, because everyone loved Jordy. And then again, like, it's not that I hated Jordy, but like, he was very limited. Literally, his range, he didn't have any. And well, he's a great shortstop because he has a great fielding percentage. This is like the example we're talking about. Great fielding percentage. Well, great. Ono Cruz covers 110, 150%, more than what Jordy Mercer can cover. So the balls that are getting to Brian Reynolds or getting to Michael A. Taylor as a grounder, Ono Cruz gets to.
Yeah.
Now, of course, he needs to make a good throw to make the out, but that's what we're alluding to. Like, Jordy Mercer's absolved from that. He doesn't get to it, so it's nothing on him. And Ono Cruz can get to those and actually make a play.
Because I remember, like, I think it was last week where like O'Neal Cruz went for a ball that like deflected off his ankle, and people were saying, "Oh, what a bad defender." But to be completely honest, it was impressive that he even got to that ball in the first place. And so, yeah, it's a lot of it's eye test, unfortunately, and people see errors, and that's the biggest eye test. But I think O'Neal Cruz for a full season has been quite good, and I want to see him do better next year. Like, I genuinely think that he will grow even more. He'll be able to rest the ankle and be even better next year.
Fair enough. And he does. He does need to be better defensively, but he's still also okay. He's okay. He's not terrible. He's not the worst. He's not I have to move off. And I guess his answer to someone's question asked earlier, because the challenging comments, he's my shortstop next year also. And the biggest thing too is like there's no one moving him off there. Like you can make the argument of Connor Falefa, which by the way, he's been playing fantastic in the field. You can make that argument, but I think he is best suited as being that guy who's going to go all over the place. So give me O'Neill at short, give me somebody at second. So that way IKF can be your third baseman, your shortstop, your second, your outfielder, when you need those days off. So you have a very competent person doing it and not a Jared Triolo. That's why there's value. That's why you have him at shortstop, because Cruz is a 3-word player. You keep him there, and then you have the value of IKF being everywhere. So you don't have to have a Jared Triolo doing that, because the drop off from Cruz at short to IKF is pretty. I'm going to assume is a pretty big drop off overall production. IKF is having a really good season this year, but that's kind of an anomaly. But then like the drop off from IKF to Jared Triolo, like that's what you're doing here. So like you're making your team better by having him as your shortstop. Yeah,
I mean, so basically this is IKF's best career year hitting wise. It's still a 100-point difference in OPS. That's a huge drop off.
There you go. Right. So again, having him best used as that guy who's going to float and get 400 plate appearances every single year, but having that good defensive, versatility, that's valuable. And that's why you want him at that utility spot, because that's really valuable. Remember how valuable J-Hay was doing that? That's what IKF is. So anyways, we've kind of gone on tangents. This game was really
not a great game to talk about. I guess Jim asked for it, so I guess we can shout out Ben Heller for not giving up a run again. But Beeks went scoreless inning, but besides that, not a whole lot else to talk about.
No, Ryder Ryan gave up a home run almost immediately.
Yeah,
didn't look too good there either, unfortunately. But
yeah, Ryder shouldn't be employed next year. But Heller might be fun.
We'll see.
I'm trying to look on the positive side of things, because I'm always at least today. So they took 2 of 3 from the Mariners, so I won't be too mad at them.
Yeah, still, I mean, everything they had to take 2 of 3 today. This weekend, and they did. So all is fine. And again, it was a Jake Woodford start. It's not like they lost another skiing start or something like that. I mean, it was Jake Woodford who lost. They take 2 out of 3 from this, in this series. It's fine. So it gets that is what it is. They go to Texas tomorrow, right?
I honestly don't even know the schedule after this.
Yes. Texas tomorrow at 8:05 is the next game. So
all right,
that'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean the Rangers aren't very good this year, so
yeah, in that ballpark, maybe we'll see some home runs.
Bucktober's back on.
There it is. Well, I guess we should get out of here, Neil. How's that sound?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, everyone, as always, appreciate you guys for watching. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube page if you haven't already. If you listen to the podcast, leave us a comment. Tell us how terrible Neil is and his takes on Garrett Shelton. If it's anything bad on me, leave it out. And we'll see you next time.
Please keep commenting. Please keep spamming it. I want to keep reading it. It's really fun.
and since you're on here too, and he's not hearing this because at the end of the show, there's no way he's made it this far. But I just want, if Paul, if you are listening or whatever, you're my favorite commenter at this point in time. I love it. I can't wait to see Paul's comments anytime, especially when you're on, but even if you're not. So he's my favorite commenter at this point in time. So Paul, if you hear this, which you won't, keep it up.
He saw my face and dipped out at after 10 seconds.
When he stayed on, it waited till about 15 because the first 10 seconds you're muted. He's like, I might actually like this one. If Neil's muted, this is the show I want. But then he heard your voice. He's like, oh, now I'm out. All right. We're out of here. We'll see you guys later. Starbucks tomorrow morning, post game, evening. Bye-bye.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.